one of the things that I realize that I need to do is to make a tree farm every time I start up a new server. Every time I go into a server, I make a tree farm. And this, my friends, is a schematic of a tree farm. Booyah! Now, the only thing messed up with it, now you do notice that the pipes aren't connected yet. When you start putting the pipes in, they automatically connect, but they don't show as connected because they're showing the individual block. Not a big deal. That'll fix itself. Everything else goes pretty well. And this is set up for an early to mid-game power supply. Not really late game, but it definitely will get you going for a while, especially if you have two separate redstone furnaces burning all the wood into charcoal. But you don't skip up to magmatics or something. But the only issue with this schematic is this is bedrock. It's not actually supposed to be bedrock, but I couldn't get it to render as anything but bedrock. It doesn't show up as the harvester from Minefactory Reloaded. So, but when I realized, okay, I'm building a base. I need to start power. The easiest, quickest, simplest power is a tree farm. Let's do this. And then I thought, well, then I don't have that, do I? So I just went ahead and made a schematic. I also think that I picked up all of the items that I'm going to need. I'm going to make a tree farm that uses oak saplings and rowan saplings, just because. I'm also going to end up putting all of the witchery saplings in there, just because I'm going to need them, and why not? I mean, it's wood. Might as well use it. So I'm going to take this and go down in a hole underneath. I'm thinking maybe underneath the tower. Maybe, but just drop down a little bit. It takes about, it's 12 above this level, so you're looking at probably 16 total, and then the size of it. And it's all included in one chunk, which I thought was pretty good. If you run pipes across chunk lines, sometimes, that'll mess things up. So you want to check that. And just make sure, say if you're, because I'm going to move this one, but say how it's running over chunk lines right here. If this chunk is loaded and this chunk is not, then it's not going to transfer. Things will get messed up. So, and finally, last but not least, these two power and liquid pipe runs are going to run out to a sludge boiler, which I didn't add into the build. So if you use this, I'm going to put it up on the schematic, Minecraft Schematics website. If you use this, that's just something you'll have to add in yourself, because a lot of people don't use it. They seem to think of it as a waste. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to drop down into the hole. I've made a hole anyway, getting up all that stone. And then I'm going to make a bigger hole. I don't know where. I don't necessarily want to do it under that, but I might, yeah, why not? Okay, so we're going to go over that way, one chunk. Which I believe would put me in this chunk. All right, so if I clean this chunk out, this should give me everything I need. Ooh, I don't have a hammer out. Let's get a hammer. Let's not get that. Let's get this hammer. Boom. Although the other hammer actually might work better because it's newer and I love it more. Yeah, the other one's faster too. So, yeah, we're going to go back and all the way to the edge of the chunk and see what we can run into here. Well, that's a big area. I'm already full up because I've got too much stuff. Boop. I'll switch these around too. Okay, well, I'm going to clean all this out, and then we'll lay it down real quick. And there you go, a giant hole. Yeah, I always like to put my tree farms underground. I generally set them up so that you don't ever have to maintain them. You really don't have to go in and do anything with them. So they basically are just sitting there by themselves, just producing power ad infinitum. It's a great little system. The only thing that I've done up to this point is I did make connection blocks for this area and this area, which you'll see when I turn this on. Show it just so it'll go faster. That way I don't have to wait for it to come from that side over. I could start here or whatever. And the other thing I did is I went ahead and put down this cobblestone. This cobblestone is the most important thing to start with, because when you set this up to do a schematic for it, these two blocks need to be flowing. If you do it from the schematic, it might put the aqueous accumulator down first. It might not work. So there's no telling. So we're just going to put these two down first. That way that's got what it needs. And then we're going to move on with the rest of the schematics. I'm going to move everything that I need down into my inventory here. So And let's do, we'll wait on the rest of that stuff. Opaque, opaque item ducts, that's wrong. That's okay. I have regular item ducts and it may still work. We'll find out. So we'll just go ahead and turn it on and see what happens, right? Okay, show and on. There we go. See, I have clear fluid ducts and I have opaque fluid ducts and this is using clear, but I will go ahead and I will break this myself. Oops. I gotta get my wrench out too. There we go. That's everything connected. And now we're gonna need the are these in? Are they already in? Look at that. So all right, so let's just start with the it's doing all the things. So I'm gonna have to wait for it to finish its job and then I can work on getting my stuff together. All right, I also made this so that this is a 9x9, which is what you need for iron. I need more dirt. Who knew? Probably more dirt. Nope. Well, actually, just in case. There we go. All of that together, and then I'll have to do these myself. Also, the spawner, not the spawner, the harvester, as I said earlier, will not work. So we'll go ahead and get all these together. Do I have chests? Are these here or not here? They're not here. Okay, let's get a chest. Boom. They're in this one maybe? No. I know I've got them. Just gotta find them real quick. Find out which bag I put them in or which hole I put them in. Oh, maybe here. Nope. So I just made a bunch of chests. I should be able to find. Oh, that's why I put all my stuff in my resonant bag. That's what I generally do with my build stuff. If I put it all in one bag and then I forget where it is. Look at you. Useless. All right, so let's just go ahead and make some more. No worries. No worries. And let's just make a bunch. Never have too many, right? Boom. All right, so that's all together. Now, the next thing we have to do is to connect it. So, again, if you're not using, like I said, I use the clear over here. This actually uses, the build actually uses the clear. So if you use the opaque like I did, it will still connect. But you just have to be prepared to do a lot of the work yourself. But at least gives you an idea of where everything goes. So you got that going for you. That one's not even there yet. So we're just going to do this. Oh, why did you not connect? It's facing the wrong way. Neat. Got to remember that. And also with the understanding that this chest, this furnace is not here. Again, this is a one furnace setup. I'll have to build another one. Boop, boop. So the opaque still works. It's just not quite as happy with it. And then we'll get it from the side here. So I say, and from the bottom. Now, the other thing that you'll need to do with these is to disconnect some of the connections because they'll connect automatically to certain things. There we go. That supplies saplings back to the planter. And then last but not least, the fluid to get rid of... Am I standing on something? Come on. So is it? I'm not going to do that here. This, again, is not actually a block of bedrock. Don't know why it will not pick up the harvester. Oop, I think this is going to be backwards. Yeah, it's backwards. Okay, so let's get out our main tool of focus. Here we go, this guy here. And that way we can turn things around. So this, there you go. Chop, chop, chop. All right. And then this guy, this will go for adding in the... yeah, there we go. The sludge boiler, when I want to put it in, which I'm going to put the sludge boiler in pretty quick, but I always run it off to a different section because it does give you hunger and poison. So I'm going to run it out of this over to this side and then pump the items back up to a chest upstairs because the items can be kind of useful. So, all right, so let's move this out of the way, take a look at what it looks like without all that. And here's the other issue that we've got. These two are all connected. This is going to be pulling saplings out and doesn't need to connect to this. This is going to be pulling apples out, so it doesn't need to connect to that. So what we're going to have to do is let's make a couple blocks here and something I can stand on, and then that way I can just Click that and click that. Professional. All right, so the other and final thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't add your upgrades, and it doesn't add your servos, because every connection needs a servo. So you're going to have a servo here, here, and here. This is going to pull the logs out and send it to the furnace to become to change it into charcoal. All right. And I put a chest in the way simply so that it will meter it a little bit. Let's turn this guy around too. I want it to face me. There you go. Now everybody should be connected. All right. And so this one's going to need logs for it. This one's for apples or rowan berries if you're doing rowan trees. So you just put that in the filter. And then finally this one's going to be for saplings. All right. So what do we do first is start with the saplings. We're going to whitelist it, put an oak sapling in there, and then put a rowan sapling in there, or whatever tree sapling you're going to send back to your planter. Now, this is the smallest of the servos, so it's not really useful. And stack size is 4. You can decrease that if you want to, but 4 is good enough. Redstone control ignored. That means it's always going to pull them. All right, so if I put this in here, if I put these in there, it's going to immediately start pulling them out. And it's going to pull all the oak, and then it's going to pull all of the next section. All right, so that's going to take these over to here. I don't have any power yet. No, I have 8,000, so there you go. But that's going to pull these over to here, and what that's going to do is to start immediately planting them, because that's the planter. All right, that's got that gone. Once the trees grow, as you can see, the trees, I don't even have enough torches up yet to do it, but that's okay. You do have to add a little light on the subject, and some water will be good too. It's all right to do this. You can add a few torches in there. Simply, that'll give the trees a little more room to stand on. Now, once those grow, the harvester will immediately start chopping it. All right, so it will cut down those trees. It'll harvest it. It'll pump everything it pulls into this chest. And in this chest, you'll find your saplings, your rowan berries, apples, logs, and things like that. All right, so coming out of this chest, actually, let's do this first. Let's upgrade it. Forgot to upgrade the other one. Out of this chest on the right side, we have saplings. On the left side, we're going to put, again, whitelist, oak wood, and rowan wood once we get it. Redstone signal ignored. So what that does is if I put these in there, it will pull them right out and send them down into this. All right. This just turn on. So it does everything. And that will immediately start pumping it into the furnace, which has enough power to cook a few of them. Let's see if we've got any. Actually, I may have blacklisted everything. Whitelist nothing, blacklist nothing. All right, so that means everything should come out. One assumes one could be wrong. The blacklist, whitelist thing for nothing always bugs me. So let's do this. Let's get one of these and just set it to whitelist this. Yeah. Make sure that's ignored. And then it's going to pull them out. All right, it's going to pull them out and stick them into here if this is set up properly. Okay, right side needs to be input. Yeah. And the back needs to be output, which it is. So it pulls in the logs, starts burning them with RF, and then it's going to turn it into charcoal. And the charcoal is going to go out the back and head over to the dynamo. So as soon as this one gets charcoal, which it should be this one first, this will power up. I gotta take out all this unnecessary stuff. Boop, boop. So that way it goes straight to it. Yeah, see how it lit up just slightly? That means it has charcoal. So it's burning and producing power. And this system will slowly begin to fill itself up all the way across. It's a pretty neat little process. All right, so over here, the only thing we've got left is to put the upgrades in. Now, again, the system, when you do schematic, it doesn't do the upgrades. If you leave an upgrade in there and do the schematic, it'll also turn to bedrock. So it just turns everything to bedrock that it doesn't know what it is. But this should be good. Yeah, there we go. And then, oh, I forgot to do one important thing. When you're doing more than one style of tree, you should tell it what you want it to do and where. All right, so we're going to do that instead. And what that'll eventually do is it'll start, there we are. It'll start planting rowans here, and it'll plant oaks over there. Now, you can add a lot of things to this. You can add an automatic, like the open block sprinkler. That's generally my plan. Put a block of water here. put a sprinkler here on top of an open tank with a supply of water, whatever you want to do. But that's going to basically take that water out, and if you bone meal it, which you can get that pretty easily, then this will grow like crazy cakes. And once it starts going, it's going to end up starting this process down here to where all of these will be full constantly, and you'll literally be pulling out barrels full of extra. All right. So again, this is going to be if apples. Once I get an apple cut down, oh, the rowan came up first. I'm surprised. Now the other thing you need to worry about is be concerned a little bit if you're down here playing around or looking at things. When this tree gets harvested, it is a witchery tree. This is the rowan. So once you harvest something like a rowan, you could get an int. It doesn't happen every time, but it could happen. Look at that guy, that giant tree. Problem with these giant trees, they're so hard to cut down if you don't have like a tinker's lumber axe, but no problem with this guy. He'll cut it down completely. So the other thing we're doing is, now that we have rowan wood, all right, we're going to take it here and put it on the white list, so it's also pulled out of this chest and burned. Now this is also, when you use multiple types of wood, this is why you need a buffer chest between that and your furnace or furnaces. This is going to take it to where it'll just pull it out. Give me that back. I was already in here. I got to put it in here too, so that it'll pull out all the wood that's in there, even if it's different stacks of types and what have you, so that you don't have to worry about it clogging up your system or whatever. It'll automatically get down to where it needs to go. Okay, there you go. That's it. Got the iQuest accumulator bringing in water. Got an extra piece of pipe here that looks horrible, and we'll break it off. And yeah, we're good. The only other concerns are overflow. When you get to a point where you're having so much stuff come in, which will happen fairly quickly, you won't be able to handle all the excess. Then you need to look at getting rid of the apples, getting rid of the rowan berries, and then getting rid of the excess charcoal or finding a use for it. That's up to you. So yeah, well, there we go. There's the power for my base. Should be good to go. And yeah, see you later. And just a brief update, I took the time to put in the sludge boiler. Already got a bunch of stuff in there. Crazy. That basically just burns off the sludge that the machine produces. But you can get a lot of neat stuff out of it. Netherrack, a soul sand, blocks of clay. That's kind of cool. All right, I went ahead and set it up too so that it'll pull out everything, including the apples. So the apples are going down here. I've already got almost 2 stacks of wood going, and it's still burning more, so this is cool. I'm going to get a separate furnace to burn the rowan wood. It'll just be faster all the way around. These are all pretty much full already of charcoal. These guys up here doing 40,000 are full. The guy down here at the bottom that's not quite up, well, he's got 63. So they're all filling up everything they're doing. And then this is going to, oh, hang on. Let's do this and input. Now, so we're looking at 200 RF a tick, which I believe is the maximum of these leadstone flux ducts, because these are the beginner flux ducts. Flux ducts are going to produce. So this will get done pretty quick, and then all I have to do is, hey, would you charge my 1 or 2 million RF Sword of the Wyvern up? Sure. Just leave it with me for a little while. We'll do this instead. Yeah, we'll do them both. So yeah, there we go. Watch, I'm going to forget where I put that. But the system works very well. Again, work on or use the clear item ducts and the clear liquid ducts. That's what the system's asking for. And this is what I had in my bag, and that was my bad. But other than that, really no issues. So yeah, I hope you get a lot of fun and a lot of use out of it. Aboo-bye.